2008. It was in Phoenix. At that time, it was called the Phoenix Fury. At that time, I thought it was cool, and I was completely unprepared, and I had no idea what I was doing. And a lot of people would sit back and blame Joe for my failures, but I had to ask myself, number one, how much did I get out in the community and participate, and how much did I actually work a plan? I didn't have a plan. I didn't put my players to hold their feet to the fire to get out and get involved in the community. So anything I asked Joe for, he was there for me, but at the same time, he can't do everything. I had to get up off my ass and do some work of my own, and I was unprepared to do it. So I said, when I come back to the ABA this time, I wanted to make sure that I came back properly, and I didn't come back only for myself, because at that time I was doing it only for me. So in 2017 and 18, I launched one of my first television channels called OKTV. And I had what's called Master Control, a separate third-party Master Control operating my programming. They were loading my stations and making sure that the channels were running properly. So 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So what I found was I wasn't getting the revenue I thought I should have been receiving from my advertising sales because someone else was handling it. So I started calling around some of these third-party marketing companies that were inserting the commercials onto my channel, and I found that the company that was running my Master Control was not giving me my money. So I said, oh, this is interesting. Well, how do I fix it? So I didn't know how to fix it because I was new to that aspect of television. So what I had to do was take the L. I didn't want to fly all the way to Kentucky and put nobody on their back. So I said, you know what? Let me find out what's the best way to figure this out. So I brought everything in-house. I developed with the team, developed our own proprietary software so we don't have to depend on third parties to do our Master Control. So what that means is we run our own television channels now. So in addition to that initial channel that we launched, we also launched a 40 other channels that are what we call niche channels. So let's say, for example, you are a cannabis consumer. Well, one of our channels we launched is Weed World TV. Any and everything on that channel is cannabis oriented. It can be anything from a cooking show that uses cannabis and the recipes. It could be a talk show about cannabis, but it's all cannabis oriented. We have another one called Little People TV. Any and everything on that television channel is people, little people. Even if you turn it on and you see people our size, it could be a little person that's a producer or a director behind it. So we have about 40 of those channels, and they are streaming and broadcast in certain channels, certain territories in the country. But as we were doing this, Joe and I have been tinkering with this idea. He said, hey, X, the biggest thing that's taken the ABA so long to turn the corner is media. If these teams have media, then that exponentially increases their ability to feed their players, and the players can feed their families. So I said, well, why don't we give it a try? How do we do this? So we started tossing the idea back and forth, and essentially all we're doing is we're just taking the model that I'm currently using, and we're just making it available to the players, to the teams. So now what that means is the teams have the opportunity to have their own streaming channel. So every team, if they're open to it, if they want it, could actually have their own channel on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, also in the Samsung and the Philips to the smart TVs that you purchase from Walmart or whoever else, it's automatically installed on those too. The team I'm going to bring up here next after me, they are responsible for not only placing the product placement and product integration in my films and television shows, but they also do the ad sales and marketing for my television channels. What that means to you all is once you all get involved and we get your channels deployed and off the ground, some of the same advertisers that we're using, they're just going to basically filter over to you guys since we're already utilizing them. And also gives each team the ability to have their players go out to the community, to a local restaurant or a local shoe store, what have you, and now they can be on your television channel. Roku alone had over 53 million subscribers in last quarter. That's just Roku alone. So what that basically means is what that basically means is those are all eyes that your sponsors or potential partners have access to, because just Roku alone, like I said, have that many people on their platform. That's not Apple TV and Fire TV. Our company also provides the feed, so if your teams have websites, the feed can actually get, I don't know tech talk, so I'm just doing, I'm toughing my way through it, but that feed would go to your web developer, and he in turn could embed that into your website, so it's playing the same feed that's playing on your Roku, on your Fire TV. It's also across the board, so it's all playing the same thing. But I don't know what else to say after that. You guys got any questions? I ain't seen you since Urban Network.
Can we insert our own commercials?
Yeah. I'm skipping a lot because this is not what I do. I don't want to talk to people. I can text better. But yeah, so even though your channels are your channels, so the content you want on your channels, that's completely up to you. If you don't have content, then my team can just insert whatever filler content you want, because advertisers are gonna wanna know, like Joe knows, they're gonna wanna know that there's something running on your channel. So if you have a channel that's available to run 24 hours a day, but you only have 2 hours worth of content on there, then you're missing 22 hours worth of money that can be coming in from advertisers. So to answer your question, absolutely. So what you guys would do is, if you had a commercial, you had content or product, you would just send that to us through an FTP or through whatever the protocol we established, and then our team would load it up. If it's something that needs priority, you say, hey, X, this needs to be on. I don't care what you gotta do, man, but this has to be on by Monday because X, Y, Z. Then what we'll do is we'll just say, hey, we'll do a support ticket and say, I don't care what else you guys are doing, this has to be on Monday by this time. So yeah.
Do we get like a guide with it so you can actually see what time something comes on?
1000%. I'm completely unprepared. I feel horrible because I'm coming up after all you guys who are prepared and got your stuff together. I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't be up here talking. But there'll be a program guide that you'll be able to, initially again, what we'll do is we'll just load your channels for you, because you guys you may not realize the content that you have. But if you got stuff on your telephones that you recorded, anything you have, that's content that we could curate and we could cut together and drop on your channel, because it has to be germane to that area that your team is in. So it wouldn't make any sense for my LA content to be on someone's, to be around a channel in Michigan. So the idea is for the players to be able to say, hey, you can watch me even if you can't get out to the game. Here, pull your phone on that, pull a Roku or whatever, and you can watch us right here.
One more question. What about live broadcast?
Yeah, we will be able to do that as well.
Can you run a loop? Like, let's say you got 21 or 24 hours, but you got 8 hours worth of games back to back. Can you just loop it?
Yeah. All we do is put that. We have a scheduler, and that 8 hours worth of content. All we do is once we load it, we'll just pull it down and just play again. You say you want that to play for 3 days straight, you play for 3 days straight. That same 8 hours.
Okay. Understand.
So this is just not about broadcasting a basketball.
Oh, no, yeah, I'll get into that.
Right.
Excellent.
So, like, and who's the cameraman and who's doing all that stuff?
Well,
You guys apply that, like me?
Well, that's going to be team by team. Let's say, for example, if you say, hey, X, we have a nice arena, we have a good product that we're putting on the floor with our players. All we need is we do have camera crews that can't come out and set it up, but you guys are going to have to take, team owners, including myself, are going to have to take some responsibility in what goes on that channel. But let me just say this. So because the ABA season is only for a certain period of time, then it's like, okay, well, what do we do? How do we make revenue? How do we monetize this channel when there is when there are no games? Well, again, it's your channel. If you guys want us to load Gilligan's Island or the Monsters, whatever, I got thousands of dollars worth of content that we can drop on your channel, and you guys would get the list of channels, that list of content that we have. You might say, hey, X, you just want to run the dating game for 2 hours, but you guys, we'll show you all the whole process of how you put your programming together, so that way you're making money throughout the year. And it was interesting for me because, like I said, I just wanted to make sure that as team owners, that you guys have a way. I don't know about you guys, but I lost in my first year as a team owner. I probably lost over $250,000. Lost, and I said, I'm not taking any more L's. I'm not losing another nickel when I come back to the ABA. I couldn't pay my players. It was just rough. So I said, I'm not doing that anymore. When I come back, I just want to figure out what's the best, smartest way, and I wanted to make sure I took advantage of this. I also did a show when I had my team, and the same thing you guys can do. If any of you have watched that show called Hard Knocks, what I did was I had a TV show that I developed on putting my team together. I called it Pick and Roll. and I aired that locally in Phoenix, and they paid me, you know, a little bit of dollars. I said, oh, this is the same. It doesn't have to be high technology. It could be telephones. You guys just, because stories are what advertisers are going to know. They want to know that these players are human beings and that, you know, their stories are being told properly. So the only people who can tell the stories player properly are players. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, you can have content running all around the year because that's money that you can create, generate all around the year. In terms of the particulars and how it all works and all that, Joe and the team will disseminate that to you guys. And yeah, we'll just make sure all you guys are well prepared to deploy and launch whoever wishes to indulge in this opportunity. Was it?
I actually got a couple questions, if you don't mind. I just wanted to clarify. So you're saying that, like, say for instance, I have a website for my team. You're saying that, like, we can make our own channel, and then you can, like, say for instance, if we have a game on Saturday night, we can live broadcast that game on the website. They would just go on the website and they can click play, and it would automatically play what's going on, just as long as it's going through the process.
It's going to be the same stream, the same feed is going to be running across all platforms. So it just wouldn't be the game on your website and then other content running on Roku and Apple TV. It's the same. So if it's the game's going to be running on all your platforms.
And then if I have like a training, say for instance, a training video for kids and stuff, I can put that up after. Like, it's kind of like, you know, I'm a Laker fan, so I grew up a Laker fan. So, like, you know, like Fox Sports and that, how they have the guys like talking afterwards about the game, breaking down the recap, like kind of like stuff like that, pretty much just like for the team, like for team-based stuff, right?
As long as we have access to the content, it can air.
What about the cost of this?
Oh, it's only $30,000 per team. No, I'm kidding. It's all free. You guys are sharing the revenue, but with the league, it's all you guys will have to put a nickel out of your pocket. The only thing you guys will probably pay for is if you guys want to create your own content and edit and all that stuff. That cost is on you, not the channels.
I wanna add something, because, again, an idea starts like this. Okay, ideas start like this, but when you start thinking about ideas, they expand constantly, and you think of new things. So, you know, when I was doing this, I'm very strong on interns, and so if you think in terms of this, if you go to your local college and say, we want your radio TV department to bring their camera down and do our game, okay? And we're gonna feed it onto our TV channel, but then we are also gonna put on our local channel your girls volleyball, your girls soccer, your men's swimming, your diving. We're going to put on things about your chemistry department and anything else. You provide us with content and we will put it on our channel for free, okay? Then you say, and everybody knows how much I've wanted to fuse music with sports. If you watch today's young people, they watch sports for about this much time, but they are constantly have their earbuds on and they're listening to music. So now all the independent music that's in your city will then start feeding you rap, hip hop, rock music. Harold's in the music business, Twan's in the music business, Brian's in the music business, and they need exposure. You will find that you can take, even though you're only going to be playing 10 games times 3 hours, 30 hours a year, you will have more content coming from the Chamber of Commerce with the videos that they produce, and your leading businesses with the things they produce, and local events that you can go out and say, we would like you to put your events and the things you're doing on our TV channel. And it opens up the world to you, which will open up sponsorships to you. And I think you need to add sponsorships. Howard, you're too young people. Why don't you introduce them? This is an important part of it, because no small part of it.
Was there anything else that I needed to answer for you? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. The first one being, if we're loading our own content, is there a guideline on the rating, like for censorship kind of thing?
No, I mean, just it have good, because it's Roku. I mean, Roku out, yeah, they're literally just be smart. So yeah, I mean, no one in here is going to air anything that shouldn't be airing. I'm sure people are going to have their clothes on.
The other question is, during the non-season part of the year, and we ask you around like Gilligan's Island, do
Zero.
It's, you
It's
know,
all, I'm sorry, it's all content I already own. Either I'm owning or I license. So what, how does it benefit me? Naturally, I'm getting a cut of the advertising sales along with the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you,
And is there a subscription service that you're providing for our audiences? or-
No, I wouldn't keep it free TV, because that way it makes it a lot easier for your advertisers and then, to come on board. And a lot of these guys, they don't have $1.99 to spare, so I would just keep it free TV. We can, if you say, hey, X, my market could support it, we wanna be, subscriber based, and I'm not gonna fight with you, I'm sure you have a reason for that, but I would just keep it all free TV.
good.
There was another, yes, ma'am?
Just really a couple points. You stepped